but it is the NCAA Men's and Women's March Madness Tournament. Now, both have started, and as you guys know, and I have said this multiple times on championship rings, unfortunately, just because of my nature and my sports schedule and everything that goes on, I don't spend a lot of time on the women's side of things. I'll watch the championship game and I'll be watching Caitlin Clark if I can. But I'm not tuned into the women's side. Obviously, as much as my great partner here, Josh, which as much as Josh and I both admitted that I think we are to work with each other, we both love each other because that's what sports debate is. But with that being said, tonight we're going to dive into the men's, and then I'm going to give Josh the floor, and Josh will go over his predictions for the women's bracket. So, Mr. Unger, in your men's bracket, your final four were.
All right. My final four, I have Iowa State. Hold on. I've got Iowa State. I've got Kentucky. And for some reason, the rest of my bracket isn't coming up. But I had Iowa State and Kentucky playing each other in the national championship. Oh, I had Iowa State, North Carolina, Kentucky, and Tennessee. And then I had Iowa State, Kentucky, and Iowa State wins the national championship.
So I know you guys aren't going to be able to see this well, but I went old school. This is my bracket. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't think
not at all. Not at all.
Let's see. Well, maybe if I undo the virtual background here real quick, you guys will just see a blurred screen behind me here. Probably still can't see it, but this is my printed March Madness bracket on a piece of paper. I ended up going old school for this. So, without further ado, my final four, as I also did present this today on Brandon's World, I have the number one seeded UConn representing the East. I agree with Josh. I think North Carolina comes out of the West. I agree with Josh. I think out of the South, Kentucky. And my Midwest pick, who I also think, by the way, is going to win the entire tournament. I like this team. They have good size, good shooting, good depth. They play well together. I have number 3 seed Creighton coming out of the Midwest. I have Creighton defeating Kentucky in the Final Four. I have North Carolina knocking off UConn. We will not have a back-to-back national champion. And I have North Carolina falling to Creighton for the national championship game.
We haven't had a back-to-back national champion since the 2007 Florida Gators. And we haven't had a team go to back-to-back national championships since Butler did it in 2010 and 2011.
Yeah, well, wait. If I recall, didn't Gonzaga go back-to-back to the championship game?
No.
Oh, did they get beat in the Final Four?
Okay.
I could have swore they went back to the title game.
2017 they were in the title game. In 2021 they were in the title game.
There was
2020.
Was that the team that went undefeated?
2022 it was Virginia, Texas Tech. 2023 it was Connecticut, UConn against San Diego State. 2022 was Virginia. 2022 was Kansas, North Carolina. 2021 was Virginia. 2021 was Baylor, Gonzaga. 2020 was nobody. 2019 was Virginia, Texas Tech. 2018 was Villanova against Michigan. 2017 was Gonzaga, North Carolina. 2016 was Villanova, North Carolina.
Okay, I got you. Okay, we got the gist. So I was wrong on that. That I got confused by that. That was the team that went undefeated. For some reason, I thought they went back to back, but that was the team that went undefeated that obviously won the championship game. Um, so the way I see it, I want to talk about this before we get to the women's. I have two upset teams that I think could really do some noise in the tournament. Number one, I have James Madison, and the second team that I really like is McNeese. This team is tough. They're physical. They play great defense. They only lost 3 games all year, 2 of those games being in overtime. I have McNeese and James Madison both getting to at least the Sweet 16.
I have James Madison losing to Wisconsin. Um, and then I did correctly pick Oregon over South Carolina. So I was right there. And
Yep,
then
I got Oregon. Now I have them losing to Creighton in the second round.
yeah, I have Creighton moving on in the second round. But I have Stanford actually upsetting Kansas.
Okay.
And
Who
then I
is
have
the Cinderella
McNeese.
team that you have going the farthest?
McNeese.
Okay, so me and you agree on that. I have McNeese in the Sweet 16 losing to Creighton.
And then I have Purdue beating McNeese.
Okay, so you have Creighton in the Final Four then against Kentucky.
No, I have Creighton losing to Tennessee.
Tennessee.
And then I have Tennessee over Purdue. And that's how Tennessee gets to the Final Four, where they lose to Kentucky.
So you have Tennessee beating Creighton.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So then you have Tennessee against McNeese.
No, because I have Purdue beating McNeese.
Oh, wait, you have Purdue beating McNeese? I don't think Purdue gets past the round of 32. I think they're going home.
I had Purdue over Grambling, then Purdue beating Utah State, and then Purdue beats McNeese. And that's how we get Tennessee against Purdue.
Okay, I got you. All right, what about the women's side?
Okay, so for the women's, I have got South Carolina, because they're undefeated. It looks like nobody can stop them, going against Stanford on one side of the Final Four. And then on the other side, I've got LSU against UConn in the other matchup. And then in the championship game, round 3, South Carolina, LSU for the national championship. And South Carolina finishes the season undefeated as the national champions.
Who do you have as your Cinderella story on the women's side?
I don't really have a Cinderella story because I just feel like all the top seeds are going to kind of hold serve. Because unlike in men's March Madness, I'm not sure if it's also in the round of 32, but all the first round games are at the higher seeds home arena. Well, I shouldn't say it like that. Like South Carolina will get home court, Iowa will get home court, and some of the lower seeds, like this 8-9 game, will be at Iowa's stadium or will be at South Carolina Stadium or things like that. So that's where you could see an upset happen possibly, but I've got most of the home higher seeds holding serve in the women's.